Woke up, gave myself a hug. No love like self-love. I'm an aboriginal, not a settler. So what the fuck I wanna settle for? My soul was broken, I fixed it up. So what the fuck I wanna sell it for? Really, I just wanna better us. Me, myself, and I. We about to fly up into another pinnacle. It's nothing short of a miracle. I used to just wanna get rich as fuck. Now I just try to keep my spirits up. I say to myself in the mirror, you's a phenomenal nigga. I keep on repeating my mantra. I roll my weed in the switch. I don't know if it's the pose or the portrait, but this is the perfectest picture. I see myself molding and morphing. I guess it's just life, go figure. Wish I could go show Philip, cause Lord sure knows I miss him. But we gon' live forever, so that there don't make no difference. You fucking right. You fucking right. I can't love nobody till I love myself. I can love anybody once I love myself. I don't love everybody yet, I love myself. I can't be nobody else because I love I hope you love you. You say you love I love you too. See, I love I hope.
mypdfbooks.com. That's books with a Z.
Peace, 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 peace. Peace, love, and light, family. It's Noble Mufti Brian Hicks Bay here with the Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School, bringing to you once again our Holy Day Friday BBT Book Club reading. And we are happy to have you once again. We'll be presenting a book today by the author Brian Tracy, No Excuses. So without further ado, we'll start with our Moorish American prayer and then get right into it. Allah, Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is our protector, our guide, and our salvation by night and by day through his holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, Shalom Malakim, Ayah Asha Ayah, Hotep, Islam, Amen. Peace, 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 peace. So without further ado, we'll move right on over to our book. No Excuses, The Power of Self-Discipline by Brian Tracy. This book is fondly dedicated to my friend and partner, Eric Berman, one of the most disciplined and determined people I have ever met. Introduction: The Miracle of Self-Discipline. There are 1,000 excuses for failure, but never a good reason. Quote Mark Twain. Why are some people more successful than others? Why do some people make more money, live happier lives, and accomplish much more in the same number of years than the great majority? What is the real secret of success? Often, I began a seminar with a little exercise. I asked the audience, how many people here would like to double their income? Almost everyone smiles and raised their hands. And then I asked, how many people here would like to lose weight, get out of debt, achieve financial independence? Again, everyone smiles, some people cheer, and they all raise their hands. Then I say, wonderful. These are great goals that everyone should have. We all want to make more money, spend more time with our families, be fit and trim, and achieve financial independence. Not only do we all want the same things, but we all know what we have to do to achieve them. And we all intend to do those things sometime. But before we get started, we decided that we need to take a little vacation to a wonderful fantasy place called Someday Isle. We say that someday I'll read that book. Someday I'll start that exercise program. Someday I'll upgrade my skills and earn more money. Someday I'll get my finances under control and get out of debt. Someday I'll do all the things that I know I need to do to achieve all my goals. Someday. Probably 80% of the population lives on someday I'll most of the time. They think that and dream and fantasize about all the things they are going to do someday. And who are they surrounded by on Sunday Isle? Other people on Sunday Isle. And what is the chief topic of the conversation on Sunday Isle? Excuses. They all sit around and swap excuses for being on this island. Why are you here? They ask each other. Not surprising, their excuses are largely the same. I didn't have a happy childhood. I didn't get a good education. I don't have any money. My boss is really critical. My marriage is no good. No one appreciates me. Or the economy is terrible. They have come down with the disease of excuse-itis, which is invariable, fatal to success. They all have good intentions, but as everyone knows, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. The first rule of success is simple. Vote yourself off of the island. No more excuses. Do it or don't do it, but don't make excuses. Stop using the incredible brain to think up elaborate rationalizations and justifications for not taking action. Do something. Do anything. Get on with it. Repeat to yourself. If it is to be, it is up to me. Losers make excuses. Winners make progress. Now, how can you tell if your favorite excuse is valid or not? It's simple. Look around and ask, is there anyone else who has made my same excuse who is successful anyway? That's a good question. And when you ask this question, if you are honest, you will have to admit that there are thousands and even millions of people who have had it far worse than you, who have gone on to wonderful things with their lives. And with thousands and millions of others have done, you can do as well if you try. It has been said that if people put as much energy into achieving their goals as they spend making up excuses for failure, they would actually surprise themselves. But first, you have to vote yourself off of the island. Humble beginnings. Very few people start off with many advantages. Personally, I did not graduate from high school. I worked at a laboring job for several years. I had limited education, limited skills, and a limited future. And then I began asking the question, why are some people more successful than others? This question changed my life. Over the years, I have read thousands of books and articles on the subject of success and achievement. It seems that the reasons for the accomplishments have been discussed and written about for more than 2,000 years in every conceivable way. One quality that most philosophers, teachers, and experts agree on is the importance of self-discipline. Discipline is what you must have to resist the lure of excuses. It is self-discipline that enables you to vote yourself off of the island. It is the key to a great life, and without it, no lasting success is possible. The development of self-discipline changed my life, and it will change yours as well. By continually demanding more from yourself, I became successful in sales and then in management. I caught up on my schooling and took an MBA degree in my 30s, which required thousands of hours of determined study. I supported Suzuki vehicles in Canada before anyone else, set up 65 dealerships, and sold $25 million worth of vehicles. And this is all after I had started with no knowledge of the industry. What I had, however, was the discipline and determination to learn what I needed to know and then apply what I needed to do. I got into real estate development with no knowledge or experience, applied the power of discipline, which was then backed by hundreds of hours of work and study. I then went on to build shopping centers, industrial parks, office buildings, and residential subdivisions. With self-discipline, I have built successful businesses in training, consulting, speaking, writing, recording, and distribution. My audio and video programs, book seminars, and training programs have sold more than $500 million in 36 languages in 54 countries. Over the years, I have consulted more than 1,000 companies and trained more than 5 million people in live seminars and talks. In every case, the practice of self-discipline has been essential to my success. I discovered that you can achieve most any goal you set yourself if you have the discipline to pay the price, to do what you need to do, and to never give up. So, who should read this book? This book is written for the ambitious, determined men and women who want to achieve everything that is possible for them in life. It is written for people who are hungry to do more, to have more, and to be more than they have ever been before. Perhaps the most important insight of all with regards to success is to achieve greatly. You must become a different person. It is not the material things you accomplish or acquire that matter so much as it is the quality of the person you must become to accomplish well above the average. The development of self-discipline is the high road that makes everything possible for you. This book will serve as your step-by-step guide to becoming a remarkable person who is capable of remarkable achievements. A chance encounter reveals the reason for success. Some years ago, I was attending a conference in Washington, D.C. During the lunch break, I was eating at a nearby food fair. The area was crowded, so I sat down at the last open table by myself, even though it was a table for 4. A few minutes later, an older gentleman and a younger woman who appeared to be his assistant came along carrying trays of food and obviously looking for a place to sit. Having lots of room at my table, I immediately arose and invited the older gentleman to join me. He was hesitant, but I insisted. Finally, he sat down quite thankfully, and we began to chat over lunch. It turned out that his name was Copmeyer. As it happened, I immediately knew who he was. He was a legend in the field of success and achievement. Copmeyer had written 4 best-selling books, each of which contained 250 success principles that he had derived from more than 50 years of research and study. I read all 4 books from the cover to the other cover, each more than once. After we had chatted for a while, I had asked him the question that many people in the situation would. Of all the 1,000 success principles that you have discovered, which do you think is most important? He smiled at me with a wink in his eye, as if I had asked this question many times. And he replied without hesitating. The most important success principle of all was stated by Albert Hubbard, one of the most prolific writers in American history at the beginning of the 20th century. He said, self-discipline is the ability to do what you should do when you should do it, whether you feel like it or not. He went on to say, there are 999 other successful principles that I have found in my reading and experiences, but without self-discipline, none of them work. With self-discipline, they all work. Thus, self-discipline is the key to personal greatness. It is the magic quality that opens all doors for you and makes everything else possible. With self-discipline, the average person can rise as far and as fast as his talents and intelligence can take him. But without self-discipline, a person with every blessing of background, education, and opportunity will seldom rise above mediocrity. Your two worst enemies. Just as self-discipline is the key, the lack of self-discipline is the major cause of failure, frustration, underachievement, and unhappiness in life. It causes us to make excuses and sell ourselves short. Perhaps the two biggest enemies of success, happiness, and personal fulfillment are first, the path of least resistance, and second, the expediency factor. The path of least resistance is what causes people to take the easy way in almost every situation. They seek shortcuts to everything. They arrive at work at the last minute and leave at the first opportunity. They look for get-rich-quick schemes and easy money. Over time, they develop the habit of always seeking an easier, faster way to get things that they want rather than doing what is hard but necessary to achieve real success. The expediency factor, which is an extension of the law of the least resistance, is even worse when leading people to failure and underachievement. This principle says, people invariably seek the fastest and easiest way to get things done they want right now, with little or no concern for the long-term consequence of their behaviors. In other words, most people do what is expedient, what is fun and easy, rather than what is necessary for success. Every day and every minute of every day, there is a battle going on inside of you between doing what is right, hard, and necessary, like the angel on one shoulder, or doing what is fun, easy, and of little or no value, like the devil on your other shoulder. Every minute of the day, you must fight and win this battle with the expediency factor and resist the pull of the path of least resistance. If you truly desire to become everything you are capable of becoming. Take control of yourself. Another definition of self-discipline is self-mastery. Success is possible only when you can master your own emotions, appetites, and inclinations. People who lack the ability to master their appetites become weak and dissolute, as well as unreliable in other things as well. Self-discipline can almost always or also be defined as self-control, your ability to control yourself in your actions, control what you say and do, and ensure that your behaviors are consistent with your long-term goals and objectives. And the mark of a superior person is the mark of the superior person. Discipline has been defined as self-denial. This requires that you deny yourself the easy pleasures, the temptations that lead so many people astray, and instead discipline yourself to do only those things that you know are right for the long term and appropriate for that moment. Self-discipline requires delayed gratification, the ability to put off satisfaction in the short term in order to enjoy greater rewards in the long term. Islam. So, think long term. Sociologists Dr. Edward Banfield of Harvard University conducted a 50-year study into the reasons for upward socioeconomic mobility in America. He concluded that the most important single attribute of people who achieve great success in life was long-term perspective. Banfield defined time perspective as the amount of time an individual takes into consideration when determining his present actions. In other words, the most successful people are long-term thinkers. They look into the future as far as they can to determine the kind of people they want to become and the goals they want to achieve. They then come back to the present and determine things that they will have to do or not do to achieve their desired futures. Forgive me. This practice of long-term thinking applies to work, career, marriage, relationships, money, and personal conduct, each of which is covered in the pages ahead. Successful people make sure that everything they do in the short term is consistent with where they want to end up in the long term. They practice self-discipline at all times. Perhaps the most important word in the long-term thinking is sacrifice. Superior people have the ability to, throughout their lives, make sacrifices in short terms, both large and small, so as to assure greater results and rewards in the long term. You see this willingness to sacrifice in people who spend many hours and even years preparing, studying, and upgrading their skills to make themselves more valuable so that they can have a better life in the future, rather than spending most of their time socializing and having fun in the present. Longfellow once wrote, "Those heights by great men won and kept were not achieved by sudden flight, but they, while their companions slept, were toiling upward in the night." Your ability to think, plan, and work hard in the short term and to discipline yourself to do what is right and necessary before you do what is fun and easy is the key to creating a wonderful future for yourself. And me, myself, I absolutely agree. Your ability to think long term is a developed skill. As you get better at it, you become more able to predict with increasing accuracy what is likely to happen to you in the future as a result of your action in the present. This is a quality of the superior thinker. So, short-term gain can cause long-term pain. There are two laws that you fall victim to when you fail to practice self-discipline. The first is called the law of unintended consequences. This law states that the unintended consequences of an action can be far worse than the intended consequences of the behavior because of the lack of long-term thinking. The second law is the law of perverse consequences, which says that a short-term action aimed at immediate gratification can lead to perverse or the opposite consequence from those at which it was aimed. For example, you might make an investment of time, money, or emotion with the desire and intent to be better off and happier as a result. But because you acted without carefully thinking or doing your homework, the consequences of your behavior turned out to be far worse than if you had done nothing at all. Every person has had this experience, and usually more than once. Islam. The common denominator of success. Herbert Gray, a businessman, conducted a long-term study searching for what he called the common denominator of success. After 11 years, he finally concluded that the common denominator of success was that successful people made a habit of doing the things that unsuccessful people don't like to do. And what are these things? It turned out that these things that successful people don't like to do are the same things that failures don't like to do either. But successful people do them anyway because they know that this is the price they have to pay if they want to enjoy greater success and rewards in the future. What Gray found was that successful people were more concerned with pleasing results, whereas failures were more concerned about pleasing methods. Successful, happy people were more concerned with the positive, long-term consequence of their behaviors, whereas unsuccessful people were more concerned with their personal enjoyment and immediate gratification. Motivational speaker Dennis Waitley has said that the top people were those who were more concerned with activities that were goal achieving, whereas average people were more concerned with activities that were tension relieving. Dinner before dessert. The simple rule in the practice of self-discipline is to eat dinner before dessert. In a meal, there is a logical order of dishes, and dessert comes last. First, you eat the main course and clean your plate. Only then do you have dessert. There is a cute but misleading bumper sticker that says, "Life is short, eat dessert first." Just think what would happen if you came home after work and instead of eating a healthy dinner, you ate a large piece of apple pie with ice cream. What kind of appetite for healthy, nutritious food would you have afterwards? With all that sugar in your stomach, how would you feel? What would you feel? Would you feel energized and eager to do something productive? Or would you feel tired and sluggish and ready to write off the day as largely finished? You get the same result when you go for a drink or two after work and then come home and turn on the television. These are simply different forms of desserts that largely eliminate your ability to do anything useful for the rest of the evening. Come on. Perhaps the worst part of all of this, whatever you do repeatedly soon becomes a habit. And a habit, once formed, is hard to break. The habit of taking the easy way, doing what is fun and enjoyable, or eating dessert before dinner becomes stronger, and it leads inevitably to personal weakness, underachievement, and you guessed it, failure. The habit of self-discipline. Unfortunately, you can develop the habit of self-discipline. The regular practice of disciplining yourself to do what you should do when you should do it, whether you feel like it or not, becomes stronger and stronger as you practice it. You refuse to make excuses. But habits are easy to form, but hard to live with. Good habits are hard to form, but easy to live with. I'm going to read that again. Bad habits are easy to form, but hard to live with. Good habits are hard to form, but easy to live with. And as the Goethe said, everything is hard before it is easy. It is hard to form the habits of self-discipline, self-mastery, and self-control. But once you have developed them, they become automatic and easy to practice. When the habits of self-discipline are firmly entrenched in your behavior, you start to feel uncomfortable when you are not behaving in a self-disciplined manner. The best news is that all habits are learnable. You can learn any habit you need to learn in order to become the kind of person that you want to become. You can become an excellent person by practicing self-discipline whenever it is called for. Every practice of self-discipline strengthens every other discipline. Unfortunately, every weakness in discipline weakens your other disciplines as well. To develop the habit of self-discipline, you first make a firm decision about how you will behave in a particular area of activity. You then refuse to allow exception until the habit of self-discipline in that area is firmly established. Each time you slip, as you will, you resolve, excuse me, you resolve once again to keep practicing self-discipline until it becomes easier for you to behave in a disciplined way than to go behave in an undisciplined way. The big payoff. The payoff for developing high levels of discipline is extraordinary. There is a direct relationship between self-discipline and self-esteem. The more you practice self-mastery and self-control, the more you like and value yourself. The more you discipline yourself, the greater is your sense of self-respect and personal pride. The more you practice self-discipline, the better is your self-image. You see yourself and think about yourself in a more positive way. You feel happier and more powerful as a person. The development and maintenance of the habit of self-discipline are lifelong tasks, an ongoing battle. It never ends. The temptation to follow the path of least resistance and expediency factor lurk continually in the back of your mind. They are always waiting for an opportunity to pounce, to lead you astray into doing what is fun, easy, and unimportant rather than what is hard, necessary, and life enhancing. Napoleon Hill concluded his book, best-selling of the same name, by saying that self-discipline is the master key to riches. Self-discipline is the key to self-esteem, self-respect, and personal pride. The development of self-discipline is your guarantee that you will eventually overcome all your obstacles and create a wonderful life for yourself. The ability to practice self-discipline is the real reason why some people are more successful and happy than others. How this book is written. In the pages ahead, I will describe the 21 areas of life in which the practice of self-discipline is vital to fulfilling your full potential and achieving everything that is possible for you. This book is divided into 3 sections for greater ease of use. Part 1 is entitled Self-Discipline and the Personal Success. In these 7 chapters, you will learn how to release more and more of your personal potential by practicing self-discipline in every area of your personal life, including setting goals, building character, accepting responsibility, developing courage, and backing everything you do with persistence and determination. In the 7 chapters of Part 2, you will learn how to achieve vastly more than ever before in the areas of business, sales, and personal finance. You learn why and how self-discipline is essential to becoming a leader in your field, to operating a business more profitably, to making more sales, investing more intelligently, and managing your time for maximum results. Finally, in the 7 chapters of Part 3, you will learn how to apply the miracle of self-discipline to your personal life. You will learn how to practice self-discipline in the areas of happiness, health, fitness, marriage, children, friendship, and the attachment of peace of mind. You will learn how to enhance the quality of your life and your relationship in every area. In each chapter, I will show you how you can incorporate higher levels of self-discipline and self-mastery into everything you do. In the pages ahead, you will learn how to take complete control over your own personal and professional development and how to become a stronger, happier, more self-confident person in every area of your life that is important to you. You will learn how to break old habits that may be holding you back and how to develop the habits of self-reliance, self-determination, and self-discipline that will enable you to set and achieve any goal. You will learn how to take complete control over your mind, your emotions, and your future. When you master the power of self-discipline, you will become unstoppable, like a force of nature. You will never make excuses for not making progress. You will accomplish more in the next few months and years than most people accomplish in a single lifetime. Part 1. Self-discipline and personal success. Your success in life depends more on the person you become than on the things you do or acquire. As Aristotle wrote, the ultimate end of life is the development of character. In these chapters, you will learn how to develop and use self-discipline in order to become an excellent person. You will learn how to develop greater self-esteem, self-respect, and personal pride. You will learn the essential disciplines required for personal greatness and how to build them into your own character and personality. Chapter 1: Self-Discipline and Success. The first and best victory is to conquer self. Quoted by Plato. Why do some people accomplish so much more in their personal and professional lives than others? This question has occupied some of the very best minds throughout human history. More than 23,000 years ago, Aristotle wrote that the ultimate aim of human life is to be happy. He said that the greatest question that each of us must answer is, how shall we live in order to be happy? Your ability to ask and answer the question correctly for yourself, and then to follow where your answer leads you, will largely determine whether you achieve your own happiness and how soon. Begin with your own personal definition. How do you define success? If you could wave a magic wand and make your life perfect in every way, what would it look like? Describe your ideal life. If your business, work, and career were ideal in every way, what would they look like? What would you be doing? What sort of company would you like to work for? What position would you have? How much money would you want to earn? What kind of people would you work with? And especially, what would you need to do more or less of to create your perfect career? If your family life were perfect in every way, what would it look like? Where would you live? And how would you be living? What kind of lifestyle would you have? What sort of things would you want to have and do with members of your family? If you had no limitation and you could wave a magic wand, in what ways would you change your family life today? If your health were perfect, how would you describe it? How would you feel? How much would you weigh? How would your levels of health and fitness be different from what they are today? Most of all, what steps would you take immediately to begin moving towards your ideal levels of health and energy? If your financial situation were ideal, how much would you have in the bank? How much would you be earning each month and each year from your investments? If you had enough money that you would never have to worry about finances again, how much would that be? What steps could you take starting today to create your ideal financial life? And with that short reading, I think we shall conclude for the evening of our Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and Schools Friday Holy Day book reading. Gratitude for you all watching. Gratitude for you all enjoying. Gratitude for you all taking the time out to learn with us today and read. And without further ado, we will begin or end with our prayer. Allah, Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is our protector, our guide, and our salvation by night and by day. Through his holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, Shalom Malakim, Aya Asha'aya, Hotep, Islam. Amen. Peace, 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 peace. Now take yourselves over to mypdfbooks.com and get that book.
mypdfbooks.com. That's books with a Z.
Look here, before they give they naysay on the things they say you can't think, and on the ways they say you can't play this economic game unless it's about the rules that they made. Haha, here's the funny thing, what you have yet to understand. They're terrified, honestly, they know your royalty and you'll be running this world someday. You got a lot on your lunch plate, I just need you to stay educated. You ain't no different from your classmates, but I just know what you can do when you dedicated. I can tell the way your head shake, that bit full of dreams and you better chase it. What if I said life is just one big field trip and you the driver, my little nigga, choose your destination.
I just want you to think about it, wrap your mind around it. You hear what I'm saying?